I see her matches kicking in once Alexa Bliss is back.
Did you see an Instagram
Please
post?
come back.
She's dyed. Have you seen she's dyed her hair?
I saw. I'm excited. I was like, yes, she's coming back. For those that don't know, I'm a rather big Alexa Bliss fan. Purely about her wrestling ability. Only her wrestling ability, of course. I hit that well, right?
Yeah, you did well. You did well. That won't be the beginning of the show at all.
Acknowledge me.
Hello and welcome to Bitchin About Wrestling, where the wise men chat everything WWE. On this week's episode, it's a bumper one. We've got to discuss everything that went down at Summerslam 2024, plus everything that went on with SmackDown last week and Monday Night Raw. Joining me from the Bitchin About Wrestling team today, we have Neil, our tribal boss. How you doing, Neil?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good. Thank you, buddy. And also joining us is Alex. How you doing, buddy?
I am back from a hell of a weekend where I had to watch Raw, I had to watch SmackDown and SummerSlam in a mixture of my iPad in my mate's house, and also while in a van explaining to a non-wrestling fan what the hell I'm watching. Who's that? It was like watching it with my kids. It's like, who's that? What's wrong with them? Why are they doing this? Why are they talking and not fighting? What's going on?
I had to do some of that with my wife. My wife actually sat down and watched some of it with me because I was very intent on staying up on Saturday night to watch it, as you should as a WWE fan. But it got to like 11:30. I'm like, I'm beat. I had such a day. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, if it was WrestleMania, you'd have to power through. But I was like, okay, I can get up in the morning, stay off social media. So I put my phone do not disturb mode. Didn't want to see absolutely anything. Woke up in the morning, got onto SummerSlam, and yeah, the wife was watching me, and obviously the first match was Rhea versus Liv, so talking through all that kind of stuff, and yeah, she started getting into it. And even when I was watching Raw tonight, and she's like started paying attention, so she's paying attention more now. So I'm letting it build, not pushing it, letting it build.
This is going to turn into a husband and wife podcast before we know it.
It's all the intent of getting to WrestleMania next year in Vegas because she's almost there.
I want it to happen because if you can get your wife into it, she can convince my wife to get into it.
Soon there'll be a wives club wrestling chat. Watch a separate chat. Right, let's take a quick peek back at SmackDown last week. So obviously this was a build up to SummerSlam, and the key takeaway from this was obviously we have new WWE Tag Team Champions. The Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, they obviously won the gauntlet match the previous week. So it's them versus DIY. They came out on top with the gold, as we pretty much all predicted, right? So, Neil?
Poor DIY.
Yeah, poor DIY. A short stint.
You know what? Part of me is thinking the same as you guys, poor DIY. But in reality, I'm just like, look, somebody had to lose to the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
But why didn't they just leave it on?
Better it be DIY than like someone who you're like, they're never going to be tag team champions again.
Yeah, maybe.
I just think there was no point taking it off of Theory and
taking it down.
They should have because they could have easily taken the loss to Tama Tonga, and then once the whole Bloodline stuff is over, then you give DIY their run. Because they didn't even, that's their first title defense.
Yeah,
but it doesn't seem true, but it doesn't have the David Goliath feel of a face versus a heel.
Yeah, you'd expect the Bloodline to run through A-Town Down Under much more than you would DIY.
But they could have done a squash match.
Yeah. I mean, look at the thing is, when you think about it, A-Town Down Under are the kind of runaway heels. Right? Yes, they're good in the ring. They are great technicians, but they are very much, things are getting hot and heavy. Let me run away.
Yeah, fair enough.
versus DIY, who were like, I'm gonna fight.
Went out swinging.
Yeah, it's true. My only thought after this was I thought it was absolutely the right decision before, but then after what happened at SummerSlam, I'm like, did they need this going in? Because it didn't impact the story and it didn't go the way I thought it would at the end. So it's like, was it really needed? So, but we'll come on to that. So what else happened on SmackDown? We had Tiffany Strand. She got her new Money in the Bank briefcase from Nia Jax. Yep. And Nia gave it to her on the condition that she wouldn't be cashing in on her, which I thought was really great. She's like, if you do, you know, you'll have me to answer to. But yeah, saw that coming a mile off. But yeah, nice, pretty briefcase. It's all good.
And then Chelsea Green came in and insulted the new briefcase. So I see a program between those two as something to go against each other, and between Chelsea and Piper and Tiff and Nia as a bit of a thing going forward. So that's a good little distraction, so that she doesn't have to worry about just cashing in straight away. So she's got someone to go after.
Yeah, because obviously Chelsea Green felt she was really near claiming the Money in the Bank. She pushed her off right at the end. She said she was even designing her own Money in the Bank briefcase as well. And I think that'd be a good match. Her and Tiffany Strand, they could definitely put on a good match. And hopefully they'll just, banger. Hopefully they'll be able to lean into, like we said, Chelsea Green's ability a little bit more. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, LA Knight stole Logan Paul's Prime truck.
That's brilliant.
Very kind of old school throwback of like stealing vehicles and stuff like that. It was quite fun to see.
And the sign.
Again, and the sign, dropping the banner down. LA Knight having on Logan Paul's special banner. And that was a real throwback for me. You know, big unveiling, something happening on the unveiling, vehicles, all that shenanigans. That was it all added to their match.
And Logan sold it really well. The whole thing with the dignitaries. I was like, that was one of the things I had to explain to my friend. He's like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, yeah, this is really difficult to explain. But just go with it. It's fine. It's funny.
Exactly. And then Carmelo Hayes and Andrade had a rematch. Great match with those two again. Really, you know, those two are really putting the best matches on SmackDown at the moment. But Andrade got with a win again. Yeah, which
I didn't see that coming.
No. I thought it'd even it up 1-on-1. So where does it go from here? Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
I think Carmelo goes off the deep end.
Okay. Resorts to shenanigans, maybe.
Yeah. No. I think that's kind of the only way you can play it is either you have him go off the deep end and win by shenanigans, or you just make it that Andrade is LA Knight's first opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Santos Escobar didn't turn up at all, did he? Like we thought he would.
He did not, no. Any other things you want to mention about SmackDown before we move on?
It was a good, simple go-home show before SummerSlam, but I think we all just want to get into the meat and potatoes.
Yes, we do.
It was SummerSlam.
Yes. Let us
SuperSlam.
Let us talk about SummerSlam. So, obviously, if you checked our episode last week, we went through and did all our predictions. And so I've got the table here of all the results, but let's just go through each match. Let's talk about it. And we'll try and do it as best as I can memory from the show. So first off, we had the Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. And this was a little bit of a surprise it went on first, because Rhea and Becky went on first, like night 2 of WrestleMania. So I thought it might be later in the card, but sometimes you need to put your big matches on to start with because the crowd's pumped and you could get them lost midway through. And I thought it was a really great match. I think they really told the story well in the ring. And Rhea Ripley selling the shoulder injury and it popping out. I bought into it to start with because the way she hit the turnbuckle, she's like, it's out. I was like, oh shit, I'm telling my wife, oh no, I think this is real. And she's like, is it? And we're both looking at the shoulder, and there was some weird angles where it kind of looked a little bit popped out. It was very odd.
That's what got me.
Right? Yeah, because she had turned and it was angles. I don't know if it's a collarbone or the angle, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, is it? In my head, I was thinking, did her injury make her double jointed, or was she double jointed to begin with and you just didn't know?
Right.
And then I was like, because maybe if she's double jointed, she can, I was like, maybe she's double jointed, she just can do that normally. And it's just, when she, when she was like, "Oh, you want a piece?" and then she slammed her shoulder into the. Even though I'm like, this is pure theater. When she like hit the turnbuckle and then she was like, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I couldn't help it.
What movie? Oh, it's Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Where his shoulder pops out, doesn't he?
No, of course, he pops his shoulder out, yeah. But yeah, I thought that she sold it really, really well. And then it was a great narrative for the match because he kind of evened it up because Rhea was obviously dominating with the power throughout the match, much bigger than Liv, stronger than Liv, and it brought her down a level, which, you know, created a more equal offense. So yeah, I thought it was really, really great. And, you know, pushing forward to the end of the match, we got the turn. You know, they tease it a little bit with, you know, Dom trying to save Rhea, but he did save her from herself, which kind of seems strange in one sense because it's like, well, she would have got disqualified anyway, and so she wouldn't have won the title. But again, it's feeding into that narrative. So when the turn did eventually come, and I wasn't too sure at first because he obviously slid the chair in, and then he's distracting the referee, and I thought, has he slid it in, you know, in terms of for Rhea to try and get the cheat win? But then the camera cut away for just about a second, and he had that smirk on his face. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, no. You know exactly what he
He pointed at it. He was pointing at it to Liv.
I didn't.
Oh, was he?
I
Right.
didn't see. I didn't notice that. I mean, I was watching it live, so like there was long blinks. Right? So where I realized that it was like he did it on purpose was when he was distracting the referee. As soon as Liv hit the Oblivion, he jumped. He was like, he was like, ref, look, and then he jumped down.
Jumped down.
And then I was like, when he did it, I was like, beat that shit.
And I love the commentary. They absolutely ripped into Dom. It's like, you two-timing piece of shit. You know, it's just it was
Pat paused to ask for permission, basically, to call him a piece of shit. It was great.
pretty much, yeah.
But by the way, I called this months ago. Thank you very much. Need to go back to that episode. I know everyone thought something might happen, but I called this exact scenario. People thought it might go to the second match. I called this exact scenario, and it's perfect. And I loved it, and I laughed, and that was a hell of a kiss.
Yeah, it
One
was
hell of a kiss.
for a married man. He's not doing too bad, is he?
He's cheating. He's cheating. It's like he's married, but he's cheating on his girlfriend with his side piece.
I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid.
Yeah. But what got me was I was like, the best thing that came from that was like Rhea Ripley trying to cry and then realizing, yeah, I'm not gonna cry, and then it instantly turned into rage.
Yeah, turned herself out of it. Yeah,
and it was brilliant. Like, because I was like, Rhea Ripley isn't the type to cry.
Yeah, no.
But it was like, clearly somebody was like, you need to show emotion, you kind of need to break down. And then she was like, okay, cool, I'll try. And then she was trying. It was like, this ain't gonna work. Rage. And I looked at it and I was just like, go ahead.
Yeah. No, like, I thought, like I said, I knew the turn. We all knew the turn was coming at some point.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this one he would cost her accidentally to kind of play that narrative a little bit longer.
Which is what it seemed.
Yeah. But they pulled the trigger and they executed it perfectly. So yeah. And then we'll obviously talk about how that unfolded on Raw.
Based on what's happened, it made sense.
Yeah. So
what's happened in pre-match and then Raw is all made sense. Yes. It all does work.
In terms of our predictions, everybody got the result right. Everybody got the pinfall right. Everybody got Dom costing Rhea. And so it has full marks across the board. Full marks at everyone. Right. And what was next? What was the second match of the night?
The next match was the Intercontinental.
Intercontinental, right. So we had Sami Zayn versus Bron Breakker. And again, it wasn't quite the match I expected. I thought it might be a little bit more of a squash than what it was.
It was still a 5-minute match.
It
was still a squash.
Yeah,
it was a semi-squash.
Yeah, I just didn't know whether he'd come out hit like 2-3 spears and get it done, like
That's
a
what I
Brock
wanted to
Lesnar
happen.
within like 20 seconds. But no, it was good. You know, Sammy kind of put up a fight, but we had the haluva kick, which then got into a spear, and we had those moments. But there were segments where we spoke previously on the last episode about Braun learning his lessons, you know, not repeating the same mistakes, and that's exactly how it played out. And we had a new Intercontinental Champion. And in terms of the predictions, everybody again, Braun Breaker. And there's a little bit of differences in terms of the bonus points. I said he'd smash him, and I didn't feel like he smashed him, so I gave myself half a point, even though it's very dominant. But like Neil said, he would learn from his mistakes. Yes. And Ryan said a haluva kick going into a spear. Absolutely. So yeah. And Alex, you said it was going to be clean, quick, and simple, which it was. So you got bonus points there. So yeah. Any other thoughts on that match, gentlemen?
I think it was great that because he came out with a spear and went to the turnbuckle. By the way, did everyone go into a freaking turnbuckle at some point during this pay-per-view? Yeah. Everyone went through the turnbuckle when it's supposed.
No, I don't think that happened in the final match.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that happened in the final
6 of the 7 matches. Anyway, but what I liked was he came out like that and instantly got hit, and it's like, oh, actually, to give you that doubt that maybe actually Sammy could pull it off again, because then Sammy went straight for haluva kick and Braun dodged it. So yeah, I like that they were like, oh, actually, this could go a different way, but then Braun picked up the pace and was like, I'm not messing about now. This is all over.
Yeah.
Neil, your thoughts?
I liked it because I think because of the way that their first match ended, where it was like, you know, Braun's hubris cost him. Having him just annihilate Sammy wouldn't have told a story. It wouldn't have told a continuing story with Evolution. It would the exact match that they had put on was right, because it showed. I was like, okay, yeah, he's learned. And I'm like, what is more? The only thing more dangerous than a great white shark is a great white shark who can think.
Who learns about his prey, exactly. And it was nice to see his dad and his uncle up in the stands, seeing him win that title as well. So that was nice.
Very cool.
The Steiners, brilliant. Okay, then let's move on. We had the United States Championship, Logan Paul versus L.A. Knight. And again, another good match on the card. I just keep loving Logan Paul's matches. And can we just talk about that springboard moonsault off the top rope? I rewound that at least 4 times.
Same. I was like, hang on, what did he just do?
Yes, that was magic. That was
unbelievable.
Magic.
And it came from nowhere.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. That match messed up my WWE network. I rewound it and I couldn't get it back to live view, so I had to fast forward it. And I was like, damn it, Logan.
I don't know what it is, but when I watch a pay-per-view not live, when I start playing it, it's automatically in Spanish. It's very, very strange, and I have to go in and change the audio settings to English. It's so weird. I do not know why.
You watch it on the network?
On the WWE network, yeah. And
that's weird.
It's really weird. And then when I pause it, and like I say, it's like Neil, sometimes it buffers, but it won't catch up with itself, so you have to exit it.
Yeah.
And then hit resume, and it goes back to Spanish again.
It's not the best app.
You know what? It's the fact that the app is only got a couple of months left.
Yes,
it's only got a couple of. So they're basically like,
get us through to January. Just get us through to January.
Whoa! So what's happening with pay-per-views?
Netflix.
But we don't have to pay for each pay-per-view, are we?
Not clear. I don't think it's entirely clear. I wonder.
I'm not paying £20 for a fucking pay-per-view.
No, I think what will happen is, because obviously we pay your Netflix subscription, I think there may be a premium live event add-on, maybe £5 or something for an event. We don't know. It hasn't been absolutely clarified.
Great, got to sell that one to the wife.
I know, right? Another subscription. But again, we all went to LA.
Don't say nothing.
That don't work in my house, mate.
This is why I pay for everything.
We all went for LA Knight, and we all knew it was about time for him to pull the trigger with that belt.
Absolutely.
Logan Paul in his hometown, it made absolute sense. And we all thought that, again, Logan would try and cheat, use the brass knuckles. So we all pretty much got bonus points there. So,
by the way, Logan's socials post losing are brilliant. So he did a post of that, of him practicing that moonsault, where he went from his ring at home into
with the crash mat into the match,
which was brilliantly done. And then he did using the music from the end of Fast and Furious about him losing his title and having dinner with the title. Just however much of a dick Logan Paul is in real life, especially with some of the, and we're not going to go into it, but some of the shit he said over the weekend. He is built for the WWE. He shouldn't do anything else but the WWE because he's built for it.
And up until today, when you guys sent me his socials, I didn't realize that I needed what I need. And what I need is Logan Paul versus Drew McIntyre. And I need it like
social media
like a
wars
build. I need like a 2-month build of them two going back and forth on social media before they have that match.
That'd be mega.
That'd be nice.
It's gonna be wonderful.
That'd be nice. Do you think Logan Paul's going to be introduced back into the WWE Undisputed Championship picture when he returns? Because I imagine he's going to have a little bit of time off now.
He's not a world title. He's not a world title wrestler.
No,
unless he's full time. He's not a world title wrestler.
I see him challenging, but not for the Undisputed title.
Yeah, because I mean, he challenged Roman Reigns for it once. He's challenged Cody for it once.
Yep.
So he's been in the picture.
But they were showcase matches for Saudi, weren't they?
Saudi shows, right?
At least one of them was.
So I imagine like the next Saudi show should be November.
Yes.
I imagine he'll be on Raw.
Ooh,
and I imagine he will. I mean, it depends how much he likes his chest.
Yeah,
because you know him with no shirt on sells things, right? So I'm like, but I can see if he's like, no, don't worry, like I can rebuild it. Then I can see.
Do you think he's looked at the pictures of Finn Balor after going up against Gunther and gone, I don't want none of that shit?
No.
Listen, think about it, right? Was it one of you sent me that picture and it said the artist? And it was a picture of Gunther,
Sheamus,
and it said the art, and it's Sheamus, Drew, Finn.
I haven't seen that.
Who the fourth person is. Sheamus, Drew, Finn, and I can't remember who the fourth person was, but it was just their whole chest,
bloody chests.
By the way, forget Gunther. Did you not see what Andrade did to Carmelo's chest? You could see the creases from his fingers on his chest. Don't tell me wrestling's not fucking real. That shit fucking hurts.
Absolutely, it does. Kofi Kingston says he has a dent in his chest from
the Big Show.
Big Show.
From when he.
Do you know what? It's the thing is, it's not a dent. It's the Big Show's slap separated his pectoral muscles.
Yes.
So if you look at it, his pecs have slowly been like
separating,
going further and further apart. Right? They literally. His pecs look like the end of Fast and Furious when they're going in two different directions.
Right. Then we had Nia Jax versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. So this is where the results started to change from the predictions. So let's see. We had myself, Neil, Ryan going for Bayley. But Rax, Alex, and Lee went for Nia Jax. And obviously Nia Jax picked up the win. Fairly decent match. Bayley with that big power bomb.
Came off strong. Really, and kicked out the Annihilator.
She did, yeah. She did. But obviously Tiffy came down with the distraction. Looked like she was going to cash in. Just enough for Nia Jax to take the advantage and end up winning. And she
Two Annihilators,
exactly, to keep her down. So it did make Bayley strong from that point of view. she didn't go out without the fight kind of thing. But I think it was definitely the right decision. The only reason I went for Bailey is because I just thought too many titles were going to change hands.
They didn't give a shit about that, did they?
No, they did not give a shit. So I'm going to stop giving a shit. I'm just like, no, go with the gut.
I did say to you, I said that it wouldn't surprise me if every title changed hands. I know obviously not every title did, but I was like, it wouldn't surprise me if every title changed hands, because I think we have to really just remember Vince is not in charge anymore.
It's true.
And things that we're like, he'd never do that. We can't.
He doesn't care about it.
No.
It doesn't matter, because
It
it's
doesn't
like,
matter. If the story dictates, it doesn't matter how many belts change and when they change.
because if you think about it, SummerSlam is the technically it's the event after, it's the pay-per-view after SummerSlam, but SummerSlam is the middle point between WrestleMania and WrestleMania, right? It's the middle part of the, even though it's not the middle part of the year, it's like the middle part between those two things.
Well, Royal
That
Rumble's
event-
really the middle, isn't it?
no,
it's
because
3 months
Royal Rumble
before.
is like,
And
Yeah, but
this
it's
is
like-
and SummerSlam is going to be a 2-night event next year,
yes,
it is.
right, yeah. So it's that,
and we'll
it's
be going
that
forward.
pivot, and I think SummerSlam is the moment where you basically say, here's the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
So everything
why-
everything you've lived up to from WrestleMania to now, all changes.
Yeah. And that's right. So then you have, like you say, you have your WrestleMania in April, SummerSlam, beginning of August, and then Royal Rumble in January. But they're also, I think they're talking about maybe not having Royal Rumble in January, but maybe February next year. So, don't know about that. Can't wait that long.
But the thing is that then you've got
I
Survivor
think-
Series, which is another big pay-per-view as well,
Yes, in November.
because they're the big four, aren't they? They're the big four. Royal
What's the
Rumble,
big five
Survivor
now?
Series. What's the fifth one?
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. It's
Oh,
like the
yeah.
fifth major now, really. But yeah, I think November. It's like we either have one right at the end of October and in November where we have Survivor Series and we have a Crown Jewel event. So there is a couple,
Yeah.
but Crown Jewel, like you say, tends to not really change the narrative. It's more progressive pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Crown
Where-
Jewel is to give the Saudis what they want to see,
Yeah.
Exactly.
rather than do anything for the story. If anything, it stops the story.
Because
But
you get matches that don't make sense.
it pays the fucking bills.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeps the lights on. Right. So what was the next match after Nia Jax?
After Bailey.
Drew
Bailey Jax.
McIntyre, CM Punk with special guest referee Seth
Boring match. Nothing happened.
Rollins. Alex, what were your thoughts?
Oh my days, where'd you bloody start? So the crazy ref gear from Seth Rollins was expected. I mean,
Beautiful.
honestly, that guy is just hilarious when it comes to the outfits he wears. But the big stare off before the match started, and Seth like really putting a big pause on before ringing the bell and like keeping them apart. And then as he rings the bell, he doesn't move out the way quick enough, and they almost clobber him as they try and clobber each other. But
Just before that was the fact that obviously they mirrored the sort of like Bret Hart Undertaker outfits. Where CM Punk had the Bret Hart and Drew had a very Undertaker vibe. But did you see when CM Punk took his hoodie off and he threw it and it got caught and it wrapped around Seth Rollins' head? And Seth just played into it. He was just like really pissed off about it, took it off, and then rubbed it on his ass.
I missed that.
Shawn Michaels style.
Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
style. Yeah, that was great. That was absolutely great. But yeah, sorry, Alex, carry on.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, and to be fair, the majority of the match, Drew beat the shit out of CM Punk. That was the basis of it, and then it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, which was CM Punk would just end up pissing off Seth Rollins, which makes me even more furious that the fans cheer for CM Punk, because to be fair, everything he did in that match was heel shit. And yeah, so I was very, very happy that Drew took him out. I wasn't happy that he still kicked out of the first Claymore. Too many people are kicking out of the Claymore now, to the point where I feel like Drew needs a new finisher. However, the final Claymore, he really put his head in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he properly took that Claymore. But yeah, no, I just think that was so brilliantly played, and the go to sleep on Seth Rollins was brilliant. I mean, to give props to CM Punk, he can to lift Drew McIntyre up on his shoulders and do that move. That takes some freaking strength.
Yeah.
280 pounds.
Yeah,
And CM
he's
Punk's a
big
scrawny guy in comparison.
Yeah. I thought he looked good though. I thought, he looked
did.
very trim in the match, and they'd actually mentioned that he'd put on a little bit of muscle, which might affect his stamina. But considering this is his first match since January, no complaints. He did perform really.
He didn't
really
look
well in
gassed,
the ring.
which I thought he might do. And then the way they played him with the bracelet, it's funny because you read a lot of comments online and people bitch about this whole bracelet thing, but it's like anything in any movie that is anything of sentimental value to the key character involved. It's the thing he wants back. It reminds him of his family. Yes, it's a cheap plastic bracelet, but it's not about actual value. It's about sentimental value. So the fact that he was like, right, I've got him in the Anaconda Vice, but I want my bracelet back, is believable. And then for the ref to pick it up and keep hold of it is also something that a ref would do. If it wasn't Seth Rollins, it would have been a different referee. They still would have picked it up, put it on to keep it safe so that it's not in the ring to cause any danger. But CM Punk didn't see it that way.
Yeah. But what was funny, the narrative of this was the fact that CM Punk cost himself the match.
Absolutely.
Which is what he's been saying Drew's been doing all this time. So
he's
done
bitch.
exactly that, let his emotions overtake him. And he had there's a couple of instances. So he had him in, did he have him in a submission hold or?
Yeah, Anaconda Vice.
Anaconda Vice, they let go of that. And then obviously he went for the pinfall, and then Seth wasn't there available to do the pin, and then he went berserk again. So, there was a few
fake falls, but I think I don't get bothered too much about when the fans count to 10, because it's a case of if I was in that position and the fans started counting, the ref wasn't counting, I wouldn't kick out either.
I'm going to wait. Yeah, bide my time.
I'll wait.
Catch my breath.
I don't need to kick out. It's not. You play to the whistle.
Yeah, exactly that. Neil, what were your thoughts?
It pains me to say that I thought this was an excellent match.
Because you don't like Punk.
Yes. But it was like they did everything. They played this match perfectly for someone who either A, doesn't know anything about CM Punk, or B, isn't a fan of CM Punk. I think if you're a fan of CM Punk, you may feel somewhat differently about the match. But because I was watching it and I was just like, I want Punk to lose.
Yeah.
But the way that they played it, there were moments in there when I was like, I don't want you to lose like that. But lose.
Yeah.
And then when he did lose, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. And I thought Seth really helped with the narrative, and he played it well because for his involvement in the match. He wasn't in it too much, but we had moments where Drew, he did the vault underneath the ring, which was a great spot to see.
Asked for permission.
Yeah, and then he went and got the steel chair, and he's like, "You hate him as much as I do. Just let me do this." And Seth's like, "Yeah, all right, cool."
And then stopped him.
Walk away. Yeah, and then
I can't let that happen. I can't let that happen. I would be Seth as that referee. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
but I can't.
But hey, this was a split thing. Again, this is where the divides came. So some of us couldn't see Punk necessarily losing his first match back.
I saw it more from I saw that more from a company thing than a storyline thing. I think him losing was the right thing for the story.
Yes,
but I just
worked on the night.
But I just didn't see. I didn't think they'd do it because I think my dislike for CM Punk probably played into that in the sense of, well, he's in it for himself. Has he changed? Is he just being less selfish? I'm happy to be proven wrong. I don't think I will be in 3 or 4 years' time when he's pissed off everybody and desecrated on Triple H. But I'm glad to see that he's happy to look up at the lights.
Yeah. The other thing that we all thought pretty much in our bonus point predictions was that we thought Drew was going to be the one to cause the problem with Seth. because of his anger issues and everything like that. We all thought Drew was going to be the one that caused the problems. But only one person got this result right, which was Rex. He went with Drew. Everybody else went for CM Punk. So, yeah, that is what happened. That's what went down. Right. The next match we had was Damian Priest versus the Ring General Gunther. And again, another banger. This was great. Two big powerhouses going at it. It felt like a heavyweight match. Do you know what I mean? It kind of rang true to the title. And yeah, just, two big Goliaths going at it. Neil, what did you think?
Good God. Meat is not supposed to hit each other. Meat should not be able to collide like that. But I was like, everything, I mean, for the whole show, I think everything went perfectly.
I agree.
And this match was another one of it, because I think it's so difficult, because with Damian Priest, he won the title and immediately people were just praying and waiting for his downfall. They were waiting for him to lose. And the fact is, he and Bayley have held their titles since WrestleMania. And the thing is, when she won, the expectation was she was going to go on a good title run. When he won, it was like, yeah, he's going to lose it in a month.
Transitional champion.
Yeah, and he has had the best title reign of any WWE champion since WrestleMania.
Agreed. Much better than Cody.
I think what he has done and been able to carry off has made him guaranteed to consistently be in the title picture, even though he's now going to go off and deal with Finn Balor, which we'll get on to. But that makes sense because of, again, what happened last night, and we'll talk about that later. He's not straight away in the program, but he will be back in the world title picture at almost any time. He has put himself in that contention of he can put on an absolute phenomenal match. He's won the crowd over because he's now gone super babyface, and it just means that it means that he will now always be in contention because he's considered a threat. I thought was done really well. Oh, by the way, when we talk about Damien has now gone super babyface, we're going back to the beginning of the show, but Dom has turned even more heel.
Yeah, he went from heel to super heel. It just doesn't happen in this business.
Do you know how? Think about it. The only person I can remember who tried to go super heel is Vince McMahon himself.
Yeah, it's true.
And it didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
Is there anyone more heel in the whole of the world of wrestling?
No, there isn't. And, like you say, a heel turn, normally your turn from heel to face heel, is a 180. Man went 360 and ran forward. You know what I mean? It's just like,
that was was one of them Michael Jackson smooth criminal spins where he was just going around and then he was like,
never going to hear him talk ever again, are we? He's just going to get booed.
I cannot wait. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this week on Raw, but I can't wait for him to get on the mic because that's going to be magic. Absolute magic.
Sorry. Anyway, back to.
But yeah, I really like the moment in the match where Gunther realized that Damien had made him bleed. Because he saw it on the big screen and he kind of saw that and was like this, and then rubbed it into his hair, just like this is just war. It was warfare. And like I say, Damian Priest looked to be getting the upper hand, and Finn Balor with the screw job. I thought it was going to be accidental. Again, I didn't see the purpose going into it, but and the way he did it and turned, and then that look.
The prince is back.
And then Priest saw the replay on the big screen because obviously he didn't know what happened.
But the ref didn't.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
But the ref didn't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Finally.
The ref didn't say, okay, disqualification for Gunther. It's fine. The ref didn't pay any attention to it, but Priest did.
No, actually, you'd be surprised to learn that someone interfering and putting someone else's foot on the ropes is not a disqualification offense.
Really?
seriously, I blew my mind, but it is not a disqualifiable. It's not. You can't get disqualified for that. But what got me was finally, I'm like, how many years of watching wrestling have we had where somebody does that? There is a big ass Titantron replaying the match, and not one moment does anybody just go,
Oh, hold on.
Motherfucker.
yeah.
Even F1 drivers say that they look at the big screen when they're racing. If you're a wrestler who's having a massive pregnant pause in the middle of the ring, you can go, "Oh, what did I just do? Oh, look at that bastard!" You know, yeah.
Because I'm sorry, me, I'd have been looking at every time I do something special. I'd be looking at that Titantron, and I'd be like,
Yeah, that's me. That's
Neil
me.
the tribal poser, more like it.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Oh, listen, every time I see like I do a drop kick, I'll be clapping. Like,
yeah.
That is an amazing character.
yeah.
That is a brilliant character.
Do a move, jump down, go to the commentary screen, check the screen replay, be like, yes.
That will be the original narcissist.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so Judgment Day imploding. That's exactly what happened, and it was kind of gone into more detail on Raw, but yeah, that was quite something.
We're skipping over, right? Because remember, I think a lot of us were like, why is Rhea and Liv first? But if it wasn't the first match, we don't get that interaction between Damian and Finn where he's like, yo,
yeah,
where is he? Where is Dominic? And he was like, did you know about
we had the
it?
backstage
And he's
segment,
like,
didn't we? Yeah.
and he's like, thanks for the trust. Thanks for the vote of confidence. When he did that, I was like, you gonna screw somebody today.
Yes.
That was like confirmation, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Going into the pay-per-view, I was like, not so sure. As soon as that happens, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how it's gonna happen.
And that's the thing, is that it's dramatic irony played perfectly, because it's you as an audience member know this is going to happen.
Yeah, but it's the execution.
Yeah, and the execution, you're just wait because you know it's gonna happen. You're like, please be done well, please be done well, please be done well. And the fact that he came back into the room when he's getting ready, when Damien's getting ready, he comes back into the room and he's like, we haven't found him. It's like, okay. And then Damien's like, dude, I'm sorry. Like,
yes,
I screwed up. Like, and he's like, whatever, innit?
Yeah.
And I was like, that was your babyface turn. Forget everything else. That moment of you apologizing and being like, dude, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
we're still brothers. We're still boys. And he was just like, I'm not trying to hear it right now. Yeah. And then he comes out. I was like,
So, and we have a new world heavyweight champion.
And that belt looked good on that man, I gotta say.
Yeah,
it does suit him very, very well.
It does. And the only person who, just because they wanted to try and be different, was Neil. He went for Damien. The rest of us went for Gunther. But again, we all thought that Finn would interfere. Some of us thought maybe for different reasons, but we all had that prediction. But yeah, obviously Neil, he just went for the opposite because he was like, yeah, Damien pinfall, Finn to help Damien win. So it did not go that way.
Yeah, it was just like, why not? It'd be boring if everybody's
exactly. If everyone's doing the same, exactly that. And but obviously, quite a few of us went for Gunther pinfall, but it was actually
a
submission or a TKO. But Lee, our guest predictor, he got submission as well. So.
And again, that was really cleverly done because Priest went for Finn, and Gunther just grabbed him into the ring, and that's what opened him up to be begun. So again, it's another win that Gunther has had that is not entirely clean. But again, I think we will get to that later.
Yeah, but I will say one thing about that though. When he first put Damien in the sleeper, I didn't like it. And watching it live, I was like, Damien, move your foot 2 inches forward.
To the rope, yeah.
And he has no choice but to let go. And then the fact that it was like, no, he's looking at Finn, he's getting more and more angry, and he's like, he's out of it. He goes after Finn, and then when Gunther got him again and drapes him into the middle of the ring, I was like, that's what I want to see. That's what I need to see.
It's just a consistency at the moment in WWE that most of the stuff now makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's happening the way it should do. And maybe it's a little bit more predictable, but I'd rather it be a bit more predictable but make fucking sense than just random shit because Vince has changed the script at the last minute.
Yeah, no, agreed. Right, let's go to the final match of the night. It was the Undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. And it was Bloodline Rules. It was WrestleMania 2.5, really. It was very similar. One-on-one match. To be fair, I thought Solo did really well. I thought he performed well and held that match together with Cody. I think he came across strong. But yeah, just when it thought that Cody had it in the bag, Bloodline come out, they interfere. And then we have the one savior, Kevin Owens, two savior, Randy Orton.
By the way, on the savior of Randy Orton, how slowly did that man come to the ring? He was too busy saying hello to everybody.
He was saying hello, getting the cheers. Yeah, he's like, yeah, how you doing? I'm here. It's all good.
Nah, he has to because he's gonna be a heel in a couple of weeks. So he has to be like, let me get these last high fives in right now before.
But he's so big now, he doesn't have the speed either. He does not have the speed.
He's enormous.
He's like 290 pounds now. So if he's running, his thighs are just clapping together. They're so big. So yeah, he's a beast now. So, but then, Jacob Fatu, he comes out, hits the splash on the table, and then the injured foot. Now,
work or is it real? I don't know.
It was a work because of the next return. So they played right into it because you're seeing actually with a boot after the show as well. But what I think they've tried to do is they've tried to dampen him down. Because obviously, at this point, we got the huge return of Roman Reigns. And what it meant was it allowed him to have the moment with Solo without
Jacob getting involved.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
The reason I thought
keep those two apart.
And the reason I thought it was real though was first of all he hit very hard, and the reaction was instant, and then he started getting angry like you would do if you you've just hurt yourself.
If you can't do the next spot.
Yes, exactly that. That's right.
Because he slammed his arms down and he threw the thing, and then he tried to stand up and he fell. I mean, as I learned from a video I sent you guys a couple of hours ago, man's an actor because he just seems like the nice, because I sent a video of him talking about his 7 kids. He's 34 and got 7 kids.
7 did he say
7 daughters?
7 daughters?
Daughters.
I'm like, listen,
I have 2. It is more than enough.
7, because I'm like, I know them Samoans like to have a lot of children, right?
Yeah,
Take 2.
Got nothing else to do about. Have they got no broadband?
Roman's got 6. Roman's got 6.
Yeah. They'll have
so
generation.
But if he has just daughters, I'm like, yeah, that's why you're an animal when when Jacob Fatu is in the ring.
He's got so much tension to release,
all that frustration, and you're like, you want there to be documented evidence, because eventually you're gonna have 7 suitors coming to your door, wanting to be like, I'm here to take daughter number 4 to the prom.
Yeah. Really? It's like, really? But yeah, so Roman Reigns returning, I personally felt it was a little early. I didn't particularly want him there, even though there's a lot of talk going into it of him being there. I'd rather have seen like a smaller Jimmy return at this point, because I actually thought Solo was going to go over at this point. That's where I saw the bloodline heading.
But with Roman turning up is the only acceptable reason for Solo not to win the title.
Correct.
So I didn't leave pissed off that Solo didn't win because Roman dealt with it.
Yeah,
with the OTC t-shirt, original Tribal Truth t-shirt.
Yes.
Yes, boy.
which I have ordered. I have ordered that t-shirt. I've been waiting to order some t-shirts, and then that happened. I was like, yeah, that's going to the list.
Listen, I ordered. Listen, the pay-per-view wasn't done when I ordered it.
Right? Do you know, after his appearance, he generated over $800,000 of sales from that return alone.
How much is that T-shirt?
It was on discount
32.
because you had the. No, I got the discount because I ordered the larger size and there was a discount on it.
Oh,
So-
okay.
How much, man?
But
It was. I think I paid 28, or something
yeah,
like
mine
that.
was like
I have
32.
no WWE merch. I think I need to buy some WWE merch.
Yeah, well, that's it. I had to buy some
you?
t-shirts, which
Maybe I
I'm
can get my
wearing
children
soon.
to acknowledge me wearing it.
Yes.
By the way, by the way, with Roman turning up on SmackDown to have the first baby face acknowledge me, that pop is going to be insane. I mean, they've waited a decade and they have finally got the babyface Roman Reigns that they want.
I so hope Paul Heyman's there with him. I really want Heyman to be there because
Ladies
that will be
and
so
gentlemen.
loud if he's there as well with his tribal chief.
What
Like
do
we said
you-
before, looking fresh face, looking healthy, looking safe. That'd be amazing.
What we
Absolutely
need,
amazing.
I just need, you need it to start. You need it to start, to begin. You need, and I'm torn between what I want because because on one hand, I want Solo in the ring, raging and losing his shit. And then in the midst of him chatting, I need to just hear, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And then that is just like,
By the way, the music they played for Roman, that's his WrestleMania
new.
entrance,
His-
his WrestleMania entrance music,
Yeah.
which is also very, very cool. And by the way, the crowd reaction to the ooh ah before the spin was rapturous, was just
It was
phenomenal. And the
insane.
eyes between Cody and Roman. Because what was it?
was like-
Corey said on commentary, he's coming back for the man that took his title.
No, exactly that.
Yeah.
And it was like a moment of respect. It's like we'll have our time again, but now's not that time. You know?
I got family shit to deal
I've
with.
got family
Yeah.
business to deal with.
that was just literally, do you know what it was? It was, again, we seem to be like bringing in Fast and Furious over and over in this episode, right? But that was that moment in Fast 5 when The Rock's like, go.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll see you soon.
Yeah,
That's what he did. That's what that was. That was that look like, yeah, you won tonight. We're not done. But I got something to attend to first.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly that. And we all got the wrong prediction except for Rax, who went for Cody. We all thought it was going to be Solo,
Solo.
but
Solo.
in terms of bonus points, we pretty much all cleaned up there. And then in terms of the paper or PLE bonus point, none of us except Lee got it because I went for a Paul Heyman return and a Jimmy. Neil thought again new Bloodline debut. He's still waiting for that debut to happen.
He's there. He's there. And now,
Yeah.
the thing is, I know his name is Leo Tonga.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah,
That's
but
what his name will be.
We also thought there might be a Charlotte Flair return, but that didn't happen.
Oh yeah, I forgot I said that. I felt so
No,
fucking.
you know what it is?
I felt so fucking smug at the end of the last show. I was like, yes, because I've seen a video of her rolling around a ring. She's going to come back.
Yes.
Do you know what?
The one thing that I did notice though was when they did the package for Braun before his Intercontinental match, they showed a lot of Ricochet and him throwing him about and putting him through the car windscreen. And then they mentioned his name during the match as well. So I'm wondering whether Ricochet is going to come back for Braun at some point and he's re-signed.
What, re-signed?
I think so, because he hasn't signed with anybody else. So
He can't because he's on a 90. He's got his 90 days.
No, his contract. He just ran his he ran his contract. out.
There's no no compete. He was free to sign, and he just hasn't.
Just
signed
like Dijak.
So only because the fact they mentioned him and showed him, which is unusual for WWE if someone's left their business. So right, so the results in sixth and last place we have Neil with 10 points.
I'm fine with that.
This is a first, I think. In fifth place we have Ryan with 11 points. In fourth place we have myself with 11.5 points.
Another podium. Get in.
In third place with 14 points is Alex. Third
I'll
place.
take it.
In second place, we had with 14.5
0.5.
Rax. Rax is
Rex
14.5.
came second. Oh,
I thought Rax was going to win.
And Lee, our guest predictor, has
sake.
won it with 15 points.
I'm not gonna say that that's beginner's luck.
I didn't get any fucking beginner's luck.
Yeah, it's true. It's
You
true.
started when we all started.
So Lee, well done. Yeah, he cleaned up, which is it. So well done. Right. So that was. Any more thoughts on SummerSlam before we wrap that section up, guys? Because I appreciate it's going to be a long podcast.
Yeah.
Felt like a perfect pay-per-view to me.
Yeah.
Out of 5 stars, what would you guys give it?
4.5.
No, I'd give it clean 5. There was,
5.
because the thing is, there's nothing that I can pinpoint and say that's worth taking half a point away.
Yeah, no, do you know what? I agree. I'll let you go.
There's no result, there was no actions, there was no interferences or anything. The things that you knew were going to happen happened, and they happened in a way where you're like, that couldn't have happened any better.
There was nothing that I also thought that was missing that should have happened that didn't happen, apart from Charlotte Flair return, but that's only because of my prediction.
Right. So that was SummerSlam 2024. Really good show. I'd agree. I'd say 5 stars as well because it delivered on all the aspects I wanted it to. So how can you score anything lower than that? But again, this is all personal opinion. So let us know in the comments. What did you rate SummerSlam out of 5 stars? Did it meet the 5? Is it 4? Did it disappoint? Was it too predictable for you? Do let us know. Right. Let's move on to Monday Night Raw. The show opened obviously with Gunther, our ring general and new world heavyweight champion, coming out and addressing the crowd. And he says, nothing can take me by surprise. I'm prepared for everything. And oh shit, Randy Orton
in my head.
stomping down to the ring. And it was like, okay, this is new. He is on SmackDown. What is going on? And he said, King of the Ring. He didn't quite get his shoulders down. It was highlighted on the videos. They mentioned it in the press conference afterwards. Triple H recognized. He said there was going to be a second match. Randy Orton is calling that in now. He said he wanted to put a classic on like Ricky and Steamboat. He thinks they're both very technical and capable of
Macho and Randy.
Flair and Steamboat.
And so it's Flair and Steamboat. Yeah, so he's going down and he's going down at Bash in Berlin. And he is Austrian, but Randy very made it clear that he was German. It's the same thing,
Americans don't care.
No, exactly. You can't call yourself the Kaiser and not be German.
Geography is an elective subject.
Yeah. But yeah, in apparently his hometown, he's going to beat the German for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's interesting because Randy's not that far behind the title top title.
He's on 14, isn't he?
He's on 14. So
14.
He's on 14. He can go for 15.
He's on 14 going for 15. So he's 2 behind Cena. So Cena really needs that win in the next 12 months.
Because what you do is you get Randy to win the title and then Cena to beat Randy for the title.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. So thoughts on Gunther versus Randy Orton for Bash at Berlin, guys?
Yep, down for it. It needs. Thing is, that Bash at Berlin, I would say Bash at Berlin is basically what Clash at the Castle attempted to be, where it was essentially going to be a one-off, and you just need your hometown. You need your hometown draw, right? Obviously, Gunther is Austrian; he's not German, so the whole thing there. But it's just. But I think it's the way it is. Is there is no better. There isn't a better opponent for Gunther to beat clean in his first major title defense than Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll let him beat him clean.
I think they will.
How about this, though, for the narrative, though? Gunther made it clear, obviously, he was NXT champion for a long time. He was Intercontinental Champion for 666 days. He's like, imagine what I'm going to do with this World Heavyweight Championship.
And then fumbles it.
He loses it first defense. Now, I wouldn't be against that narrative because it's a case of, it's very, very close to King of the Ring. Randy Orton is the legend killer. I wouldn't mind them going back and forth a couple of times, but he would then go on a rampage in a sense of he's got really something to prove now because he lost that title so quick, and he's actually, he's lost a lot of cred. So I wouldn't be opposed to that right now.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it, especially because there's never any shame in losing to Randy Orton.
Because Randy's picked up a lot of losses since he's come back. So
especially this Randy Orton.
Yes.
290 Randy Orton, right? That's he went from the Viper to the Anaconda, right? Just wrap you up and squeeze.
Yeah. So we'll look to see how much they pay attention on that on the weekly builds, whether Gunther might appear on SmackDown, back and forth. So we'll see how that builds over the next couple of weeks. Damian Priest come out and he's talking about his new family, the WWE Universe, really leaning into that baby face now. But this goes back to the Fast and Furious. He came out with a sleeveless black tank top with a silver cross on his chest, talking about family. You don't get more Dominic Toretto in Fast and Furious than you did for Damian Priest on Raw. That was something else. They're really leaning into that franchise.
And I liked that he just stomped to the ring. There was no entrance.
No entrance.
In jeans and a t-shirt, just stomped to the ring. It's like,
not paying
Finn,
attention to the fans.
Get your ass out here right now.
Yeah. And he appeared via the Titantron.
And said JD's going to come and fight him. Poor JD.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it was. And obviously he said that Judgment Day. So Finn said Judgment Day wasn't supposed to have any leaders. They were just there to have each other's back. But it changed when Priest became champion. He started telling them what to do. And when Finn went for the championship over a year ago and he missed out, Damian told him to man up. And he'd been waiting for his moment to man up and stick it to Damian. So and he said he's not going to go out there and fight him straight away. He's going to wait for his moment to stab him in the back again and again and again. And he said it's not just me, it is all of us. And we revealed the new Judgment Day: Finn, JD Madonna, Carlito, Dirty Dom, and Liv Morgan.
Just so good. Just so good at those. I've never seen Dom look so happy.
Yes.
Dom really looked like the cat that got the cream. He really did.
Yeah.
No, I love it. And I'm pleased because I've said this for ages. I didn't want the Judgment Day to break up because I believe the Judgment Day is an amazing faction.
Yes.
And this is a nice refresh. We get two awesome baby faces out of it. And a whole bunch of even bigger heels, and we get Prince Finn Balor back.
Yes,
because Prince Finn Balor is a badass.
Yeah, I mean this is like the third incarnation, really, isn't it? Because
you had the Edge
was in the first round of the Judgment Day.
Do you know what this is? Judgment Day are this generation's D-Generation X.
Yes. I agree with
D-Generation X started, and it was Triple H, it was Shawn Michaels, and it was Rick Rude. Then we got China in. Then Rick Rude was gone. And then it was like they hovered around for a moment. And then when Shawn was gone, that's when they went from black and white D-Generation X to the black, white, and green. And we got the New Age Outlaws, we got X-Pac, and then it was like the D-Generation X that we all know and love. And
exactly
that's what Judgment Day have done.
Yeah, it's a brilliant faction. It's one of my favorite factions of all time, and I'm pleased I'm getting to enjoy it. And it's not nostalgia; it's now.
Yeah. Just to touch on Dom as well. Obviously, he had the long walkout with Rhea at the beginning of SummerSlam as well. And looking back on it, it was actually kind of a nice moment because of how long they've been doing the buddy thing together. And it was like their final walkout, and they really enjoyed that moment together. And obviously, it played into the story more. But yeah, that was a nice thing to see on reflection.
They looked super loved up as well on the walk down. It was so brilliant. It was just they've just understood storytelling. They've gone away from it's almost like they've gone away a bit from professional wrestling as far as storylines are concerned. They've gone for cinema as far as storylines are concerned. And then you have wrestling, and then it goes back to cinema rather than just wrestling storylines.
even right before, I know we're talking about Raw, but right before Rhea walks out, that backstage following her through gorilla position, and that moment of like that moment where Dom pulls the curtain back for her. They play her music. She looks at him like, "This is it," and he's like, "Go get him, mommy."
Yeah.
I'm going mad and cry.
Damage. The next section, Pat McAfee did his analysis, but he did it from the SummerSlam kickoff show when he spat water out with Triple H,
so
and
funny.
he showed how Michael Cole spat his water out on top of Triple H instead of out to the ground. That was such a great moment.
And you can see Pat in the background cracking up, laughing.
Just laughing, yeah. Just this like big like splurge from Michael Cole right over Triple H, and looking around like laughing, going.
It's much harder to do than it looks.
Yeah, I haven't given it a try, to be fair.
The initial spray is fairly simple, but it's keeping enough to then do the second bit.
The second spot.
It's difficult.
That's it.
I've never done it before. Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, look, we all take showers every morning. Just try.
You know what? I've never thought of it. I never
Too
thought of it.
warm.
I'm gonna have to try it now, or at least when I'm brushing my teeth. But I don't know. I don't know who's going to clear up after
Mrs.
that.
Love that.
Yeah. Right, then we had Lyra Valkyria versus Shayna Baszler. Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark obviously came out with Baszler and ultimately ended up interfering in the match. Damage Control came out to start a fight again, and yeah, that story's progressing with those different factions. Again, I'm always having to refer to the three of them. They need a stable name, please. Triple H. I don't want to keep referring to them because I normally mess up the names anyway. So I just need a stable name just to make it a little bit easier for myself and not having to repeat these three names all the time. Then we had CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre out to the ring. So CM Punk come out and kind of explaining, his situation and, how he didn't succeed, but that he's going to be around. He wants to wrestle. And Seth came out, and again, Seth in a very direct mood, wasn't there for the crowd, wasn't playing up to the songs.
When Seth's music hit, you just saw the thing I like is when CM Punk was mid flow, Seth's music hit, and he goes, "Son of a bitch!" But yeah, Seth was like, "You fucked me up. You started on me. I was trying to do my job properly, and you came at me." And then the hater of the year turned up.
Happy Drew. We had
Happy Drew turned up and just taunted the shit out of CM Punk.
Would you do any different?
No, it was brilliant. It was just, I just love Drew McIntyre at the moment. Oh, and he was out signing people's jackets saying "fuck you, CM Punk, CUNT." I'm just like, he is just the best troll ever. And
you know what the funny thing is? People don't realize that T-shirt that he signed is a CM Punk T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's hence why
awesome.
the more of a reason why he did it. So yeah, another great segment between those three, and I wasn't quite sure potentially where the storyline was going to go with the three of them, how they're going to move it forward. But Seth was put out of action. Bronson Reed came out and smashed Seth Rollins.
Six tsunamis,
exactly off the top rope, and he spoke because actually. Bronson Reed spoke to Adam Pearce earlier in the night saying that he felt that he was being overlooked, that he beat Sheamus the previous week, but Sheamus was got a match this week. And it was just a case of
have to go do it myself.
Just going through it. Yeah, exactly that.
Can we have a moment for Adam Pearce? Because every single time somebody goes to him and says, "I'm being overlooked," like chill out.
Yes.
That person put somebody in an ambulance.
yeah, exactly. Get control of your show, Pierce, man. Get
Braun
control.
tried to tell him for a couple of weeks, and he weren't hearing him. And then you look what happened to
Ricochet.
And now he's like, Bronson Reed's trying to tell you something. And you're like, nah, that's all right.
It's fine. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly that. But it seems like potentially some more trades are going to happen between SmackDown and Raw, So I think there's going to be a little bit of crossover the next couple of weeks for sure. So I don't know if they're going to be permanent trades or just, like renting superstars out to each show. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But
see, I like the idea of like you have the draft and then you have like mid-season trades. I like that idea.
Yeah, absolutely. But I actually forgot about the first match of the night: Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser.
Great match.
It was a great match. It was a banger. It was a banger.
And then we
Sheamus.
see Pete Dunne run out.
Yeah, we had the
Missed.
Dunn. It was like, Pete, I don't want to be called Butch Dunn. He referred to it in his interview. And again, I thought, and again, the slaps that each of those two were giving each other on their chests was absolutely brutal. But again, really strong match. And, but the thing is, Sheamus, he did pick up the win, Sheamus, with this match, but he looks beat at the end of every match. He's putting everything into those matches every week.
Those last 2 knees that he gave were a little bit lackluster, weren't they?
It's hard getting up that high.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, but then he enjoys himself after the match. The last couple of weeks, he's like gone and enjoyed Michael Cole and stuff. This week, he jumped into the crowd, and he's having a good time. So more for Sheamus, absolutely. Then what do we have? We had the New Day versus the Authors of Pain. And can I just talk about those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle outfits? They were sick.
I wish I knew. My kids have just my wife and kids have just come back from America, and they were in Target. I wish I knew those things were in Target. I would have got them to buy me them.
Yes,
because they are very, very cool. Because I was a big.
How did you not know?
I was a big Turtles fan when I was growing up.
Oh, same.
How did you not know?
Because I don't pay attention.
Roman
to that
Reigns
stuff.
is Shredder.
I did know that. I just forgot. But I forgot it was in Target.
I've still got all my original Turtle figures and the Turtle Van. I've still got them all. So big fan.
I had loads
You
of
lot
stuff.
did not.
But I was terrible with toys. I destroyed all my toys.
Oh, I had the Turtle Sewer at one point. The sewer set. That was something special.
You guys did not grow up with a West Indian mother who the second she was like, that thing hasn't been on TV for 2 weeks, wiped
Nah.
from existence.
Nah.
Right?
You haven't played with it in 24 hours. It must go. I'm a bit like that with my kids. They haven't played with this in ages. Oh, but let's do a clean out next week. Oh, they've started playing with all the shit we wanted to get rid of. For fuck's sake.
And just as it looked like, Authors of Pain were going to get on top, and the New Testament were getting involved, Odyssey Jones makes his debut on Monday Night Raw. He looked awesome.
I didn't know who he was, but he looked. He was immense.
Yeah.
Neil will give us some background to that, but he looked absolutely immense. Went through the Authors of Pain. That double slam where he held up both the Authors of Pain at the same time.
That is
sick.
Is that £700?
Must be,
or just over? It's over 6.
Yeah, they're at least 300.
Like both of them boys are. Both of them boys are 300 plus, and I'm like
350.
You held.
I rewound that twice.
You had 300 and something pounds under each arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not
found their
getting
new Big E.
and something pounds on one.
Well, that's what I thought. It's like Big E replacement. But then after the match, you saw Kofi like really, oh yes, my boy, but Xavier Woods was like, not sure about this guy, and it played into a segment. He was played into a segment afterwards, and he was like, "How do you know this guy?" Like, "Oh, we met in like rehab and stuff like that." We go, and Xavier Woods is not a happy bunny, and that leads more for me for his heel turn.
I don't want it to happen.
Do you know what led for me? Do you know what made me think? Yeah, and I said it to you boys. I was like, he is playing with fate like she is not a wrestling fan. Is those videos, that video he did of LWO, The Shield, Judgment Day, who else did he have in it? He had like almost every major faction that you could think of who had turned on each other, and then the end of it was all these shots of the New Day never turning on each other.
This whole thing tells me that I think it's something that Woods has asked for.
Yes,
has gone, I want a new direction. I really want to turn heel.
Yeah,
I think Kofi quite likes being a babyface.
But that's the thing. If you think about it,
and I think Xavier just wants more.
Yeah, but I mean, can you blame him? Of the New Day, he is the only one to never have held a singles title.
He always felt like the
only one. Yeah, he was the. Think about it. When the New Day started, I don't know if you guys remember, he was the mouthpiece.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was the Paul Heyman of the New Day, right?
Was it? I didn't know that.
So not only was he that, he's the one who brought the New Day together. And I remember he bet Vince McMahon his career on the New Day.
Yeah.
He
In
bet
real,
his,
in real.
in real life, he said to Vince McMahon, he said, look, like Vince was like, the New Day's not working. And he said to him, he was like, look, turn us heel. And he was like, you're never going to get a crowd to boo Kofi Kingston. And he was like, Vince, if I can't get a crowd to boo Kofi Kingston in a month, you can release me.
Respect.
And and it paid off.
Respect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Xavier's turning heel.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Then we had some more SmackDown guests, A-Town Down Under, who got squashed at SummerSlam. They decided to come and they had a match with Awesome Truth. But again, after some miscommunication between The Miz and R-Truth, A-Town Down Under picked up a win. Are we setting up a Miz heel turn? Because he does admit this is where his best work is.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not doing anything with Miz. The fact that they only had Miz as the host at SummerSlam in his hometown. Miz is at his best. I love the Miz in anything he does now these days because I just respect the man too much to hate on anything that he does. But his best work is when he's being a prick.
Yeah. What I'd like to see now is them fall apart and then R-Truth go back with the new Judgment Day in terms of Priest and Rhea, because of how
That'd
much
be so
Priest
funny.
didn't want him there, but now he's the face, and now he's like, you know what? You never betrayed me. Come join me.
And then you have him walking into old Judgment Day thinking they're still together.
Yeah, yeah. But then you could just have him and Carlito against each other. Do you know what I mean? It'll just be, there's some gold. There's some gold there.
Yeah, I need that to happen, and I need R-Truth to be calling Carlito like Razor Ramon, or calling him like Eddie Guerrero, like calling Dominic Eddie Guerrero, and then calling like
it's like you and your
Carlito
dad, yeah.
Razor Marone.
Yeah.
And it was like, they were like, yo, Ray, what's up with Dominic, man?
Yeah.
Honestly, you can
happen.
give, to be fair though, you can give R-Truth any old shit and he can
Oh, yeah.
make it gold. He's just that funny naturally that you can just give him anything.
Yeah. We had some nice backstage packages with JD Madonna and Damian Priest before their match. I thought there was some really good video packages there for the build-up.
To be fair, JD McDonough's package was brilliant.
Yeah, it was really good.
across really, really well.
Yeah, so he spoke about, he's the Irish ace and he's sacrificed his body to protect Damien and keep his title and stuff like that, and how much pleasure he got from seeing him looking up at the screen and seeing what happened. And yeah, really, really played that well. It was nice. It was nice to see. And that led into Damien Priest versus JD Madonna. It was a solid match, but Priest was about to take victory, and Finn and the New Judgment Day came out to give him a beating. Damien got his hands on Finn and he was about to hit like his razor's edge, but Liv saves him, and then she and Dom beat down on Priest until Rhea Ripley makes her way down to the ring. She went down quick. She was steaming.
The pop she got was insane.
How you can move that fast in those shoes is impressive.
Yes, those big.
You enjoyed that, didn't you, Neil?
And so obviously Dom and Liv are racing out the ring. They're going into the crowd. Rhea manages to grab Liv. She gets her, throws her into the ring post on the outside. Is about to powerbomb her through the announcer's table, but Dom saves her. But then Rhea and Priest, the Terror Twins, they smash JD. That headbutt from Rhea looked beautiful.
And that choke slam.
Oh, that was yeah. He
using the rafters.
And he, what? He put him through the mat. That was brilliant.
Because they call it, what's his finishing, his choke slam is called South of Heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, you lifted him up high enough to see heaven. Yes. He was there looking, and he was like, wow, this is so cool.
The man saw the light for a few seconds.
I love it when people properly sell a choke slam, because you see some, because it's, I mean, back to SummerSlam, the choke slam that Jelly Roll did on Austin Theory was amazing.
That was insane.
But that's all. But this is the whole thing. It's that case of Austin Theory doesn't get enough credit for the way he sells. It's like his sell of the stunner when Stone Cold stunned him, and he went up in the air. I think Theory's great at that kind of stuff, and basically made fucking Jelly Roll look like a superhuman monster.
Yes.
But yeah, no.
How do we feel about celebrities coming in and just trashing former tag team champions like that?
Oh, it's fifth.
Do we care?
We know it's a fun segment.
As long as there is an active superstar present to be, like
assistance,
then I'm with it.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's just like, I don't know, like Jelly rolls in the ring by himself, and then Austin Theory comes out, starts talking shit, and then gets a choke slam, then I'll be like, nah, son. No, we're not out for this.
I had to explain to a couple of my mates about how Snoop Dogg basically saved the segment in WrestleMania 2 years ago after the whole Shane McMahon thing, because they were talking about him because he's all the crazy stuff that Snoop Dogg does. He's like a world class Call of Duty player, isn't he? He like streams all that kind of stuff, and I went, yeah, and he loves wrestling too, and he was he had to save after Vince McMahon's son busted his knees, he had to go and do a people's elbow on the Miz. Just like, am I saying these things that actually happen with one of the biggest rappers in the world?
Wrestling is great. Right. Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler, they attacked Damage Control backstage, and as a result, Io Sky replaced Dakota Kai in their match against Sonya Deville, and Io Sky with the win. Yeah, that seems to happened. Yeah, not much really to report on that. We'll see. Eventually, it's going to be a 3-on-3 tag match.
I feel like that story's just kicking around until they can think of something decent to do with it.
Yeah. Well, next week they're doing a number one contenders match, I think, for the tag team championships. So it's going to be Io Sky and Dakota. No, probably Dakota Kai.
Io and Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane, yeah, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, I think it is. So yeah. Then we had a segment backstage: Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, and it was kind of
Ilya Dragunov.
And Dragunov as well. But it was confirmed that Sami Zayn's going to get his rematch next Monday night on Raw against Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Jay said, handle that business. And once you've handled that, you might be double champ. So they are building this bloodline right from the get-go. They're going to become a tag team, maybe pick up the tag championships or at least go for them. And you can imagine this thing where it's going to be Sammy and Jay with the tag team championships from Raw. You'll have the new bloodline with the tag championships and SmackDown, all going to Survival Series. With all this gold around, it could be quite something. Can you imagine Jay picking up the Intercontinental Championship? He could be double champ.
I'll be honest with you, right? Jay has been Intercontinental Champion on my WWE 2K24 since maybe an hour after I uploaded the game.
Right.
Right. Immediately I was like, yeah, this is a match that's gonna happen. But I'm just like, when you think about it, the perfect bloodline was Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Sammy.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. And there's going to be a moment where you probably see that the four of them with Paul Heyman as a face.
Yeah.
As a baby face.
I'm all here for it.
Yeah. It's exactly what we want. We're just waiting for it to happen. Just waiting. Then we had the main event of the night. We had the Wyatt Six versus Chad Gable and the Cree Brothers. American Made is their new faction.
It's a shit name.
Yeah, I'm not particularly a fan. The outfits.
That's because all the good names are already taken.
They harmonized the Wyatt Six debut because 11 years ago the Wyatt family debuted, I think, in the same city. We had the in-ring performance. Michael Cole did refer to Nikki back as Abby the Witch this week. He re-clarified that is her name, so it's definitely Abby the Witch and not Sister Abigail. But we had Uncle Howdy sitting in sort of like Bray's chair.
Which is very cool.
Which was very
their entrance was.
And what do you think of the entrance and the song and everything?
Awesome. Like I was instantly watching that, thinking, I can't wait for them to put that in the next WWE game. That's what went through my head watching that. I actually, funny enough, I've been working from home and I had it on the iPad and whatever, and I didn't get to watch that until the end of the day. And I went downstairs and put that on the big TV because I just wanted to watch that entrance on the big TV because I think it's the only thing that does it any justice. And it felt like a movie. It was brilliant. I have no idea how they managed to fill the whole place with smoke so quickly and then make it vanish. I don't understand. I'm not
air vents.
Yeah, vents.
Just so perfectly done. And then
it's such a sight to see the Fireflies again. The dark stadium with the Fireflies. It's really
and then Dexter Loomis with his new hair didn't even look like Dexter Loomis. Chiseled to fuck as well, that man.
Yeah,
honestly,
and the way he's running around on all fours, following each other around.
Yeah, and then Gacy, is it? Joe Gacy.
Yeah, Joe Gacy.
I don't know anything about Joe Gacy, but he did a definite homage to Bray where he flipped himself up on the ropes
and held himself
and looked backwards, which was really cool. And he did a springboard moonsault double clothesline. Yes. He's a Kevin Owens sized shaped human.
I was making my notes. Yeah, I was making my notes at that point, and Emma, she was watching, and she was like, "Oh my god, that was cool!" And I was like, "Well," she's like, "Rewind it." And I was like, she saw that. I was like, "Oh shit!" And
I had to rewind it to check that what I had seen was correct because that was insane.
Yeah, and she was impressed with Eric Rowan as well. She said that he can move for a big lad. I was like, "Yeah, he can."
Glad to see Eric back. I did think he was going to do a flip over the ropes at one point, but he went for a baseball slide instead, which I think was probably the better option.
Yeah, he flipped over the ropes on the way back in, though, didn't he? So he did that on the way back in. But
But
so
wasn't that a Brody move as well?
Yes.
The yelly thing on the outside was the thing to Brody. So they got a lot of stuff in
homage
in that match, and it was just it was exactly the way I wanted it to be. It didn't need to be an absolute squash because they didn't put them across. They didn't put them across as mythical creatures,
a superhuman.
They put them across as people who've joined a team because they've got a thing in common. And they're just a bunch of badasses.
Yeah, they joined a cult. Yeah.
Which is what I like. I like that they're not going for the full supernatural thing, which I didn't think, which we realised quite early on they weren't going to do, which was really, really worth it.
But hopefully Nikki Cross is going to get some in-ring action because obviously at the moment that nothing's happened. She did her frog splash off the top rope, I think it was last week. So, but yeah, hopefully there'll be enough that she can cross over and have those matches as well.
I see her matches kicking in once Alexa Bliss is back.
Did you see an Instagram
Please
post?
Come back.
She's dyed. Have you seen she's dyed her hair?
I saw. I'm excited. I was like, yes, she's coming back. For those that don't know, I'm a rather big Alexa Bliss fan. Purely about her wrestling ability. Only her wrestling ability, of course. I hit that well, right?
Yeah, you did well. That won't be the beginning of the show at all. The Wyatt Six picked up the win. Obviously, the right thing to do. And it'd be interesting to see if this feud continues, whether they're going to move on, target other people. What do you guys think? Where do you see the Wyatt Six going from here? Neil?
I think the best thing to do is to continue this kind of feud with Chad and his peeps. And keep it going to at least a pay-per-view. And then what I would really like to see is for them to do what the Fiend was doing, which is to bit by bit go after people who have wronged or dealt with Bray in some kind of way.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle Howdy has to end Chad Gable. That's got to be the final thing, which I agree. Yes. At whatever pay-per-view they decide to do it at, it's a one-on-one in some sort of gimmick match between the two of them, and Chad goes away for a while.
Yeah,
there's got to be a Hell in a Cell at some point.
Well, they're talking potentially Punk versus Drew at a Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. That's potentially what they're looking towards.
Because what they've done now is they've removed Seth from the feud for a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing.
No, because otherwise it
I
could
mean,
just
when
get
you
a bit messy. When he comes back, they'll end up having a triple threat, but it doesn't need to be now.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, Seth being taken out, or this is just, I mean, I'm thinking way in advance, but Seth being taken out and obviously the kind of implosion and reformation of Judgment Day had led me to the belief that Damian Priest will be one of the last 4 people in the Royal Rumble this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it.
Neither would I.
Money in the
wouldn't
bank
hate
to
it.
Royal Rumble. Yeah.
Who else could win the Rumble at the moment? They're not gonna. Punk's not gonna win the Rumble. None of the bloodline.
Depends
are
if they
gonna
want
win
to
the
give
Rumble.
Cena a sign off. Who knows?
Or Cena.
No, I
don't
think Cena. I think Cena himself would veto that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cena
He doesn't
doesn't need to
need it.
win. Cena doesn't need to win a Rumble to get a Mania main event.
No, it's
Yeah.
true.
I would see. So I imagine the only genuinely the only way I can view it is the only people at this exact moment in time I could see winning the Royal Rumble are Damian Priest, Solo Sikoa, CM Punk.
Seth.
No,
No,
because Seth's already won it twice, I think.
and again, another superstar who does not
Doesn't
need
need it.
doesn't need it.
Yeah.
They're the only
I mean, it would
3 people
it would
I could
get Punk.
possibly
Yeah, it would
see.
get Punk into the main title picture if he's going to have his WrestleMania moment, which he's talking about. So
Yeah.
Okay, so that wrapped up Raw for this week. So a hell of a week for WWE. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on WWE. Have been talking, or there's been these rumors about potentially them recording Raw on the Sunday after the pay-per-view in the town that they're doing the pay-per-view in, because of the travel implications that it's putting on the superstars going from the pay-per-view on the Saturday to the Monday night on Raw. What are your guys' thoughts on pre-taping some shows on Monday Night Raw?
The problem I have with it,
Social media.
yeah, social media, because I think of it like this, right? Back, I mean, I don't know if either of you were watching wrestling at this moment in time, when Keith Lee became the double champion in NXT. And because it was during COVID, the only people in the actual arena were other NXT superstars. And one of them, one of like Sagna or one of the guys who's rolling with Jinder Mahal, took pictures of it and posted it on his freaking social media. And like, you know the thing where you post a picture and then you take it down? And I'm like,
late.
it's on the internet forever, because the second somebody sees it, they screenshot that shit. So I see that as my biggest.
Just do SmackDown pay-per-view and Raw in the same freaking city.
That's exactly it. They should just be doing Raw in the same city as the pay-per-view, because
why are you going to finish a pay-per-view and then go all the way across the country?
Yeah, agreed.
To go somewhere else, just put it all in that same city and reward the city for putting on the pay-per-view.
Or at least in the same state. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why
even if it's a couple of hours away, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is the crazy thing is, I think that needs to be the standard, because that's the standard for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Where you have the SmackDown on Friday, it was SmackDown on Friday, NXT on Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday, Raw on Monday. Now it's
and Hall of Fame.
SmackDown, it's SmackDown and Hall of Fame. Then it's night 1 WrestleMania, night 2 WrestleMania, then Raw. Like, just run it in the same city.
Yeah.
Especially now that SummerSlam as of next year will be 2 nights.
Yeah. I don't think you can do it with social media these days, because everything would just get spoiled. And so it's too much. Okay. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for listening and watching. We really appreciate you. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you thought about SummerSlam, the results, what happened on Raw, and the aftermath. Did it go the way you thought it would be? Were there any surprises on Raw? Randy Orton, Gunther, does that get you excited? Let us know. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can see our glorious faces and soothe the voices talking about WWE. But if you just want to listen to us because it pains you to watch, please then just hit that like and follow on our Apple Podcasts and Spotify channel, and give us that 5-star review. Go on, you know you want to. Alex and Neil, anything else before we go today?
I'm in the process of making a video for my racing that was this weekend. So I'm putting all that together.
What position were you again?
So out of 30 carts, I ended up 7th, but there's a hell of a story around it all.
Well
so,
done.
I
Well
did
done. What position did you start in?
It's heats and finals, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
So there's a story to tell from it. But in something that I built all by myself, with a bit of help from my mate Brad, but something I built that a year ago I wouldn't have had a clue how to do. I'm over the moon with myself. But yeah, so there's a video on TikTok that I put up with a whole bunch of overtakes, which I think was fun.
Yes, it was.
And then I'm in the process of making the video of the whole weekend. I'm trying to make it movie-ish, but we'll see. I'll let Neil be the judge of that when it comes out. So,
cool.
But it might be like 40 minutes long, so you just have to deal with it. But whatever.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, look, this is an hour and 40, so if people are still here, then that's great. So
This episode is shorter than I thought it would be before we started.
We done well.
I tried to power through. It's like, without a pay-per-view, we would have hit the hour mark and it would have been sweet. But yeah, with the pay-per-view, just couldn't make it happen. Right, but guys, I'm going to let you go so I can get this son of a bitch out there.
Peace.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. And until next time, peace out.
Peace.